Welcome back to page 121. Today we're going to talk about the next generation of Traveler. I'm doing them in publication order. So from 2007 we have Traveler Hero. I only have this on the CD-ROM from Far Future Enterprises. I never really saw these books in the wild. I know there are hard copies out there. I was never able to find any. Distribution was pretty slow on this. So this was out in 2007, and there were a number of books published for it. And this also brought about or increased the knowledge of Mark Millar's epic adventures. And I'm going to go into that a little bit, what the epic was and the idea behind it. So for today, we're going to take a look at Traveler Hero on page 121. All right, Traveler Hero from Comstar Games. This was published in 2007. It was out just before Mongoose got their license in 2008 to begin publishing Traveler. There were only a handful of adventures published. They're available on this disc. I love this disc. I love this set. This is published in cooperation with Hero Game Systems. You have to have the Hero 5th edition rules to make this work. Although honestly, if you have 4th edition or 6th edition, you can make this work easily. Very, very few changes. Quick note, I got a little grief when I first did my Far Future Enterprises video about the fact that I ordered everything on CD-ROM. There's a simple reason for that. I tend to lose thumb drives. Just ask my wife. Now, I realize CD-ROM is an antiquated information storage, but you can put these on a thumb drive if you want. It's just I have a bad history with thumb drives. So I like the bigger disc so I know where it is. So Traveler Hero follows the Hero Game system. And you create your character, and all the information you need to create your character is brought out in this set. You create your character using 100 character points plus 50 points of in Champions Hero system, what's called disadvantages. By the way, you are going to hear me periodically say Champions instead of Hero system. That's a slip of the tongue, but for me, Hero system is Champions. That's the system I play. It's just, if I slip that way, I apologize. But in Hero System, a 100-point character, you have to buy everything. You have to buy your strength, your dex, your intelligence, your education, everything. So 100 points isn't that much. And then another 50 points of disadvantages is basically you have a rival that works in your same area of expertise, so that might be worth 10 points. You have a strict code where you will not kill. That might be worth 15 points. Those are disadvantages, very similar to some of the quirks you can get when you create a Mongoose character in 2nd edition, where you end up with a rival or a forgotten love interest or whatever. You can do the same thing in Champions Hero system with what they call disadvantages. What this gets you is an extra 50 points to build your character. You're building your character based on 150 points. Now, for a non-superhero game in Hero system, that's not a bad number to start with. And in Hero system, you gain experience points, usually 1 through 5, 1 being for a good game and 5 being for just a lights out outstanding game. And you use those to build up your character or add new skills. So Hero system is always an improving character. It's not static. I realize that Mongoose Traveler is an improving system as well. I may tweak that a little bit, make it improve a little quicker. But I do appreciate that over the original Traveler, which had the characters basically not really changing once they were rolled up. I had modified that a million years ago anyway, so it's never a problem for me. So now you're asking yourself, why would I bother buying Traveler Hero? Well, first off, if you're a Hero System fanatic, that's why. Also, if you're like me and you just want a pretty complete collection, as complete as you can afford, then this is a good reason too. And the other reason is, in these books, they call out all the major races and everything. So there's just a ton of great background information on this disc, even if you're not going to run the Hero system itself. It's kept relatively system agnostic in the writing, and that lets you just bring this to any Traveler game. Especially if you've seen my videos on the major races. I've done Aslan and Kukri so far in the old race books that were put out by Game Designers Workshop back in the mid-'80s. A lot of that information is actually on these discs, and almost in some cases word for word. So if you don't have access to those older ones, you don't want to have to pay for it, this is a great place to get them. So those are available, by the way. Those older ones are also available through Far Future Enterprises. But you can also pick it up right here in the modified version for Hero. So then once you're into Hero, Traveler Hero, you can set it, of course, in the Third Imperium. But interestingly, Hero has its own sci-fi universe called Star Hero. This is an entire game based on spacecraft and everything. So basically, it's Traveler, and it's under the Hero system. It's not the Traveler universe. It's its own universe, but it's science fiction. Let's face it. It becomes Traveler to all of us. It does to me. There are times when I've read a lot of Traveler. I've been hitting Traveler really hard, and I just want to step out of the universe for a while. This has been a good place to go. These books are very well written, very thick. And the nice thing about especially the 5th edition Hero stuff is most of it's still available either through their website or on a secondary market like eBay, and it's not very expensive. So Star Hero does the same thing for the Hero universe as Traveler Hero does for the official Traveler universe. I've taken a bunch of stuff out of Star Hero and brought it over here. Now, the other thing is they had expansion books for this. This is the Terran Empire under Star Hero. So if I want to be more Terran-centric, say I'm going to be doing something based on the Soleimani, here's another way to kind of bring down some more information from a different source that I can introduce to my players that they might not be as familiar with if they're very familiar with Traveler. And then another book called Alien Wars. These are the space aliens in the official Star Hero universe. And again, if I'm looking to just kind of move stuff around a little bit, maybe introduce a new minor race to my Traveler game, I can pull it out of here. So I bought these books primarily for the information that I could port into Traveler. I love Hero games, but I only play Champions under Hero games. That being said, there's just a bunch of stuff you can take from Star Hero or other Hero games and bring over to Traveler very easily. The other thing I want to talk about on these discs, I love these discs, by the way, is you get a bunch of adventures here for the Hero system, and you also get some others under what's called the Epic system. This is a system Mark Miller was coming up with about the time this was published, and the idea was that you would not create a linear adventure. The heroes wouldn't go from point A to point B and then B to C and C to D, and oh my gosh, what do I do? They went from A to D. How do I deal with that? The idea being that can make the players feel kind of, led by the nose to where they're going in the adventure, and can make the game master a little edgy if they're not ready for the players to throw them a curve. So under the Epic system, you take all your various adventure hooks or side plots and you put them into one little bucket, and then you take your main plot points, you put it in another bucket, and then as you go through the adventure, you pull them out at need. So you're constantly in a situation where it's a fluid adventure as opposed to a linear adventure. And it's also known as, basically, it can be a sandbox, although this would be a limited, so you're only playing one corner of the sandbox because you're still staying in the adventure itself. You're not wandering far afield from it. I've always DM'd that way and GM'd that way, or I've always tried to, where if the players decide that they're not going to make the jump to this planet, they're going to jump to this planet, I've either been ready for it or just had to deal with it on the fly. The Epic system helps you learn how to deal with it on the fly. So it's pretty neat, and it's called out here very nicely in some of the adventures that are called out on this disc. So I recommend it. Anything Traveler is good for me. I like some of the changes that were made to some of the old information to bring it into the Hero system. And even if I'm not going to use it directly, it certainly makes me kind of rethink some of my old things that I quote, new, unquote. And as I've said before, I'm finding that, I have all the old Traveler stuff. Why would I need newer Traveler stuff? Well, the answer is because there's pretty neat stuff in the newer Traveler stuff. There's no convert or no zealot like a new convert, and that's me. I love the stuff that was done in Mongoose 1st edition, Mongoose 2nd edition. I'm enjoying even more. And I'm finding that here I can bring down the granularity as fine as I want it to be as I gain information from different sources and different insights. So I recommend it for your travel library, if nothing else. I don't know if you play Traveler Hero. If you've ever played it, if you have, please let me know how it went. I'd be interested in seeing it. If you play Hero System games, as I said, I play Champions. In fact, I did a Champions bat rep on here back in I think I posted that one on New Year's Eve of 2021. My sons did an epic battle, 2 villains battling over $8. It's just a fun little demonstration of how to play Champions and a quick look, primer, if you will, for how the Hero System works. So that's really all I've got to say about Hero System. I do recommend it. I like it a great deal. It's a great addition to your library. This disc was, I want to say, $35 standalone, and then you get a deal if you buy multiple discs through the website. So that I'll include a link to Far Future Enterprises website down below. So if you have any questions or comments, polite criticisms, I'm always interested. If you can think of anything new that I should explore for Traveler, please let me know. I'm always interested. And other than that, I want to thank you for your time, and I'll see you next time on page 121.